process, the same. We're not talking about changing that, right? And the second part of it that you said was, can you repeat the second part?
At what level do you bring this empowerment?
Right. Now, that's the important part. That's the fine line that, there definitely has to be respect. There has to be credit given. And there has to be fair and above fair compensation. Only then this is something that can be sustained, and that's where the empowerment comes in then, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
This is regarding to the intervention we are talking. Now, if I look back into the history, what were the clothes that our ancestors have worn? In Kerala, Pattumundu. In Tamil, we saw those long skirts and blouses. But what is more prevalent nowadays? Saris. Isn't that an intervention that we have adapted to? In Assam, it was mekla chadar. It is still mekla chadar, but people wear. And people come back and say, we don't wear saris. We wear only mekla chadar. But once I have started making saris in Assam fabrics, colors, designs, the young generations came up to me saying they need this kind of designs. So this is how we have to adapt to the changing generation and changing need of the masses.
Mr. Tanga, to talk to you. You've been working with Ayur Vastra,
Yes.
and from the beginning of time, it's almost 15, 20 years since this whole concept has been out. You have said you've trained a whole lot of people.
Yes.
Why is it still not being so commercially accessible for people to do a whole lot of variations with Ayur?
Yes, sir. Actually, two concepts we can take. Sir. One is that the people who are now in existing natural dyeing. The people who are in existing natural dyeing, if they are passionate and if they want to do something, they are still alive. Even they can be a worker also. But if they want to make money out of it, it is very hard because various factors. We cannot discuss in some 2-3 minutes or like that. It's a big change has to happen in a big domain because we are working on that. Even Kumaran, we are also working on that. So now what is the present situation to empower is that first we have to make as a legal dyeing method. So when you go for legal dyeing method, then many people are doing in a different system. So we Ayurveda, our objective is to whatever we put, we make boil it, we make a live extract, whatever color is coming, we are putting inside, and we have some technique to cross-link it, make it as a healthy fabric. That one small technique is there. So that we follow. But other things are very open. We are teaching others. We want others to come into the field. We have no kind of restriction. Even students can come. The people who want to do business, they can. So what is happening is that some people, they come, for big brands are coming. I've already experienced with Liberty, Walmart, even Aditya Birla, everybody, they came to us. And they will never do it because our capacity, our volume, our methods, everything, it is not up to their standard because they want fastness, they want rubbing fastness, all this. So this will not happen. So now it is like an cottage industry, and we can say even if it is illegally we are doing it if you are not having an ETP. So even we are also having dios, 2-3 dios we have. We are just having a small ETP, we are running it. So this is the major factor. It is not a simple question. So we are working on it. So government has to understand. So in my part, business aspect, if you are expecting more money, crore turnover, it will not happen. We can exist, that's all, if you wisely plan it. And empowering the weavers, now they want only wages. Because I'm investing all my profit of my company into the weaver only. Many people will not know. Even a single rupee we are not bought from any government agency because we have a lot of formalities for it. Okay, so that is why. So empowering is giving good salary to them, making them lively standard, they will come to us. You cannot do any other thing because government is giving freebies, everything to them. So if you give it, they will be sustainable, they will be empowered. That is my idea.
So are you saying that when people do the Ayurveda fabrics, which they're weaving with you and it's being dyed into Ayur, the weavers are getting higher wages is what you mean to say?
Yeah. Actually, first we have 4,000 yoga mat. Initially, we got an order. They gave 15 lakhs to us. We searched weaver every village around us. No one is there. Everybody, they threw the loom. They went for other watchman job, everything. Then we told, we will give money. Then people started coming. Then one by one. Now we have 12 weavers, and we proved them that we are giving continuous order for 10 years. They are still with us. We are now, on another side, we have to work with marketing also. We have to talk to we are companies and other people. And once the product is worth and skilled, they are understood. Demand, I also know, demand is the supply. If the demand is there, we are ready to make for it. So now it has come. It is very tough to balance it. Now we have balanced it and it is going. So what is the thing is we are empowering them by giving wages. That is the main.
You're talking
product.
about wages in this country out of the 3.5 million people connected to weaving directly,
Yeah.
2.6 million weavers.
Yeah.
The government statistics of 2020 says 93% make less than 5,000 rupees a month.
Yeah.
The harsh statistics put forward, there's
Yeah.
another 7% which makes less than 10,000, right? When we're talking about these wages, is that the moment you touch the wages, the product prices are going to go up.
Yeah.
And the whole factor of handloom being expensive keeps going further,
Yeah.
right? Also the accessibilities of the conventional products which you make has a larger threat looming by the power looms. Because the moment you do these processes or start paying higher wages, the implication is on the cost factor of the product,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And any intervention which is bought in by people is also looked as what we generally term as the middle people, because anyone who tries to bring in an intervention in any form
Yeah.
and take it to the market from the artisan onto the market, the inter costs which keeps getting added also rises the cost of the product. So even if I pay, the moment I pay a weaver 1,000 rupees a day, which is still not practical, because in all the highest form that we tried is we could try and pay about 500 to 600 rupees. And conventionally, handloom pricing is so skewed that we work top down, where the market price is decided first. The seller's commission is kept from that. Further, the society or the cooperative or the master weaver who does, he keeps his margin. What remains, the raw material cost is taken off. And the last remnant is what goes to the weaver, which never sees an inflation because your transportation costs, your dyeing costs, your every other cost keeps getting added up and adding to the cost. But your bottom line is what is remaining, the wages of the weaver. So in technical terms, whenever we talk about empowerment, the first thing we touch is the wages. The second is the livelihood in terms of the working places have not seen no improvement. The looms have not seen any changes in the way they function. In natural dyeing, still there are a lot of experimentation. There's a lot of research being done to bring in new forms of doing that. But even with handloom textiles, natural dyeing is a very, 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 very small and niche component today. So Dr. Kumaran, when you were talking about empowering and you were talking to me
See,
about...
actually, one point, sir. See, the future is natural dyeing only, because now, you know, water is depleting, all the climate change. So there is no other change to go with the organic and other natural dyes only. Otherwise, the world will not be extinct. In that aspect, government, everybody has to understand, and future is there for even everybody. Natural dyeing who are doing, they have a lot of future. Artisan is also having a lot of future, sir.
So conventionally, there was an ecosystem for craft.
Yes.
Whatever was found in an area became part of craft. When we are working in Kerala, the first question is asked, you don't grow cotton. So why are you even trying to save handloom there when your raw material is going to come from thousands of kilometers away, right? During COVID, we had the toughest time, and we had to actually, to keep the weavers stick to the craft, because most of them were working from home, the yarn had to be actually smuggled in poultry vans to Kerala. Because for that 2, 3 months, 6 months, there was a huge shortage of yarn, and there is no way when the lockdowns happened, the yarn could reach Kerala. So the question starts coming in is, how do you preserve an ecosystem, be it dyeing, be it growing of the raw material, the fibers? All of these things as a supply chain is so broken down in the system that whenever we talk about, we only speak about the front end part of it, right? So Dr. Kumar, you were talking about how the cost of indigo is this much, but at the end of the day, the guy who's doing the dyes or who's producing it gets very little or basically makes his livelihood. What would you say?
Here, I want to share some experience. Say, for example, the farmers, we have real excellent farmers. I was working on a particular crop called as Rajkira. Probably most of you know. It is very unique crop to Gujarat. It's a high protein grain, which is it's nothing but your normal greens from which grains are collected, which can be used. High protein, only crop with only grain with high protein. When I was given a chance to work in that crop, I was working in that crop for 17 years. So I wanted to travel, understand. I went to Gujarat. It is a 120-day crops in Gujarat. The farmers grow only one season. Earlier, the government, the mandi is fixing the price for the grains. But the Gujarat government as the first government to declare the farmers can fix their own price in the mandi. Directly they come to the market, fix a price every time. So Rajkira, it was sold for 8 rupees per kg. After this policy change, they started selling at 24 to 30 rupees per kg. So that is a tremendous change in that. So likewise, what I want to say is that empowerment, who are we to empower each and every one? This empowerment should be self-empowerment. Somebody having an excellent skill, weaving is an excellent skill, dyeing is an excellent skill. And who are we to decide the wages? So we have to teach them or make them to understand their own skills and then try to make them empower themselves. They should demand what they want. That level, see, morning we have been talking, when Khadi is removed, somebody was telling that we are going to shout, we are going to fight with the government. But we try to make these people aware of about their own traditional skills, which are more valuable than anything else here. Without them, this entire conference is not there. We are not going to meet at all. So we try to make them to understand what their potential and make them self-empowered. They should demand what they want. So now farmers are in different parts of the country, things are happening. Farmers fix this. The government is fixing price for rice, wheat, sugarcane, major crops, government is fixing minimum support price. Otherwise, if the farmers are ready to grow rice and not ready to grow wheat, where we can go? So government is intervening in such crops. Why not these crops? So things are happening around. Government is also looking at it. That's why that government has brought a farmers price policy. I think it will come. So my answer for this is that self-empowerment has to come from each and every individual who has skill. This, as the major players of natural dyeing and weaving here, we try to make them to understand their own potential and then make them self-empowered so that whatever they deserve, they should get it. This is the only solution I am looking at it. Otherwise, it's going to be, we cannot be pity on them. We try to make them to come to these conferences should be filled with some 15 weavers who can come and demand. I have this set of things. You want something? I have this. The leader from weaving community has to come. A leader from dyeing skill has to come. There should be a cluster. They should come and lead, and like us, they should sit here and discuss with us. So that day is the only day where everyone is empowered. So I am working towards it. So those who want to join with us, those who are engaging them, try to at least teach them to self-empowered and try to make them to understand what they want. Thank you very much.
I think Dr. Kumaran has summed it up well. At every conference, that is the grouse which we can consistently take back with us is we all at some point are sitting and representing the craftsmen who should ideally have been here and speaking for themselves. That is a voice which we consistently lack. The advisory boards of the handloom and the other such committees have been disbanded by the government. So there is very little a voice which emerges from them. We all try to be representatives of them and come and speak at forums and conferences. But at some point, we would like to see that the weavers, the artisans, the craftsmen, those who do not have the voice are encouraged enough to bring their voices forward. Young voices from them to come forward and speak for themselves and find how do we take these whole conversations forward. So empowerment in truer sense will come from that. And because we're running short of time, I would like to, the audience questions, I think there's a session after this, and I've been told that all these questions could be directed at that point in time. So we might not be having the question answer sessions on this. The following session of the open sessions, you can ask the questions. We all are here. One last word if any one of you wants to have. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Sangamam, and I think the audience can answer questions. And
thank you, Sakina and Victoria, for putting up this wonderful session. It's been 2 days of whole lot of insights and wonderful information shared, and meeting all people from various fields together at one platform surely makes this thing. We should make this a traveling thing, I guess. WICCI at national level should take forward such conversations and bring in more artisans to be on the same platform. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Speakers, please stay on stage for a few minutes. Request Mr.
Ramesh Menon, our chairperson for the session, to honor the speakers. Ms. Sonali Dr. Kumaran, Ms. Baswanti,
Mr. Tangkumar.
We invite Ms. Amrita Mukherjee to please come and honor our chairperson, Mr. Ramesh Menon.
Ms. Amrita,
Mukherjee she's not here. We invite, she's coming. Oh. Just a couple of minutes.
in the meantime, we would like to extend our gratitude to Mr. Mesweer, designer of and his team for designing the pamphlets, the Insta page, and all our social media promotions, the backdrop and everything. And Mr. Kalpesh and his team for managing the events. Special mention, Ms. Shivani and Chandani, who have been the backbone in supporting us so efficiently backstage. A big round of applause to them.
Please felicitate our chairperson for this session. We will now have a 30-minute open panel discussion, a floor discussion actually. Speakers, please join us. This will be chaired by Ms. Darshan Shah. So she will have the mic and we'll have a mic going around. So if you have questions, please take the mic and address it to our panelists. All of our panelists will be ready to take questions.
We would be focusing on the conscious fashion impact, the future of the handloom industry, and natural dyeing practices.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you, WICCI and Sakina. Thank you, the entire team at Sangamam. This has been the most amazing 2 days. Congratulations. We have this last session where we have this open questions, but to put it in perspective, yesterday's topic of discussion, which didn't happen, and today's topic, we just have a couple of slides to put this in perspective, and then we will start the session. The mic will go around, so just raise your hands and for the answers. Yeah, we just come back to you.
Hello. Okay. Well, in the early 1992, there was a film called A Day Without Mexicans. It was making a joke that one day the U.S. would be rid of all Mexicans. They were gone. And they interviewed the Americans like, no one is working in the restaurants, no one is taking care of gardens or swimming pools. So chaos, no? And I thought this could be the ideal moment to say a day without weavers, a day without dyers, a day without kadi. So people understand the value. So a day without water would be enough. But maybe create a sense of like what we're missing, because COVID made it clear. A day without air or freedom or things like that. Just a thought. I mean,
yes, that's a very good observation. It's an excellent observation. We will have comments on it. We just want to put the session in perspective, and then we can continue this discussion.
And yes, because everything has been, in a nutshell, very valuable, but I would love to hear a weaver and a farmer and a dyer from their perspective, because we are over here in our world and they are in the trenches. So that I think would be
it will be perfect. And this is for WICCI and Sakina, and for all of us. The next time we organize conferences, maybe we should have equal participation.
Yeah, in fact, we had a weaver talking yesterday. The very first, younger generation, yes, how her parents were weavers and how she didn't want to be one, and because we worked together, and how Raji was from a non-weaving background with COVID, how they were stuck and how we were able to help her, and today she's very passionate, but she doesn't have an opportunity. So we are asking the government right now, that is going on, do something, facilitate. So they are coming up with mini handloom parks and stuff like that, but it's a long road to go. But that's how we started. The book, what we presented, it's not the work of ours, it's the work of the weaver. We were just intermediate person who took the information and we conveyed. We were very transparent about that. So on that note only this conference started. And it was, in fact, it was a humble beginning, but in future, I think they will dominate and we will be called by them to, talk. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Darshan.
we're trying to complete the full circle which has been started over these 2 days, bringing the entire conference of Sangam together. So just to have a perspective to our entire discussion in the open panel, I've tried to put together some slides. This is going to be the shortest presentation, just 3-4 slides we have. And after that, we are going to go towards the questions with Darshan and Victoria. So just to introduce myself, I'm Prachi Mehrotra. I am a textile practitioner, a very passionate textile practitioner, and I am an educationist with Srishti Manipal Institute of Art, Design and Technology. I think the first slide talks about what I really like doing, and presently I like doing a lot of research which is around bioalchemy for textile design and color practices. How I came upon this idea is extremely crucial to understand. I will touch upon the first presentation which Dr. Deepika touched. She was also a researcher, and something which really influenced me always was we had color on our bodies before we had textiles on our bodies. So that is something very crucial, and which kind of always triggered me thinking about what was that color and how important that color was for our bodies. And then that took me into this research over design practices of how we could weave this color. So I like weaving a lot along with dyeing, and color and weaving were always together in the Indian and in the world civilizations. If we go back into the prehistoric times, there have been examples of how color was beautifully woven and covered our bodies. So something, I think it's what brings me here is the strange and the interesting stories of textiles and color. And I think I'm going to complete the circle by saying that that is something which we need to think about, that where should our research be going on. So going further, Sangamam gave that interesting concept of bringing the idea of how these practices can be brought together, and I think we have practitioners here in this room who have been brought together. So something which I would like all of you to think about is, this has been like after 150 years, I would say 200 years of neglect actually. We started with aniline black in 1800s. 1856 we had the first dye by Morvine by Henry Perkin, and then there is so much catching up to do. So the harm has been done for around 150 to 200 years. And then there was handloom always woven together with the natural dye in India. And then I think there is plenty of scope. So something what we were doing 3,000 years back, we have forgotten just because something happened just 150 to 200 years back. So we need to think over and talk and really think really deeply about what are textile practices, what kind of textile practices do we require, what skills are required for the present and the future practitioners, why do we need natural materials and color practitioners, and what can we all do together. This room full of practitioners, we are without any disciplinary boundaries here. So I think we really need to think from our heart that what all we can do together, what sort of collaborations are required for the future, and what could be the future of the coming materiality and the color. Color is also the most important material here. So going forward, I would also like to say India was one of the least wasteful economies. And we had sustainability. Many of the speakers have pointed out that we have sustainability, which was the core component of Indian culture. So, there have been certain researchers which also say our consumers have been extremely conscious. So we need to think about it, that what is really happening and how should we go forward in the future. Going forward, I would like to bring some of my perspectives of how Srishti gave me a platform to really think about how could we create practices and practitioners, and how could we bring things together so that we have practitioners who really think um, about conscious, responsible design. So that is something which is core to Shrishti, and this is one of the frameworks which I've quickly put here just now to put things into the framework, because that is what has happened throughout the 2 days. And something which is really interesting is that there are multiple, we need practitioners today, and we need to prepare these practitioners so that they can bring these different meanings together. So if we look at this as kind of a multi-dimensional framework which plays an important role in how the processes of could be brought together to express cultural significance. So yeah, bringing together, I would say, what meanings can these practitioners bring together? We need someone who can actually look at the functional, multi-sensory. Imagine when a potter or a dyer, an indigo dyer is dyeing, or a potter is creating a pot. How many senses are involved there? And we need people who can really work with the narrative and the collaborative aspects. We require, many people pointed out, we require the story to be rightly put forward to the intergenerational